Today, I'm gonna teach you how to work with name ranges in your calculations. Now, you've been asked to create a few calculations. First of all, we want to work out the total package for each employee by adding salary to pension. We've also been asked to get a few quick facts from the database. So let's start with our package. Now you could use conventional calculations here, but I'd like to show you the alternative using a name range. So click in P4 and type in equals. Then instead of grabbing your mouse and clicking on N4, we're going to carry on with our keyboard. And I'm going to type the name of the range. So I'm going to type AN. And before I've even finished, you can see in my autocomplete, it has identified the name range that starts with AN. So that's brilliant. So I can use my arrow down to highlight and tab to enter it. So I got there without going anywhere near my mouse. Now I'm going to type in plus, and now I want to do the same with pension. So pen and tab again to select. So you will notice it has actually highlighted the entire range annual salary and the entire range pension. It's not going to add them all up, it's just going to add the corresponding values in each column. Now, normally we'd press enter, which is fine, but there's another little shortcut key. We will instead going to press Ctrl plus enter. So you'll notice that it has done an enter, but instead of dropping us onto the cell below, it's kept us in the cell where our original calculation is. And this is quite efficient if you want to then copy it down because you don't have to click back. So I'm now going to come to my fill handle and double click it to copy down. There. Now, let's just have a look at that formula again. First of all, no mouse. Second of all, we get a nice consistent formula. We don't need to worry about accidentally selecting N4 and O5, so it's just a neat way of doing things. So let's now look though at a more typical example. Now, I also want to calculate a few quick facts about this data, starting with our total package. So I haven't named this column yet, so I'm going to have to use the conventional method, and this will serve as a good comparison. So I'm going to click in S4 and type in equals sum to get a total sum, and press my tab key to open my bracket, and I'm going to manually select the data. So click on P4 and then Control Shift arrow down to select all. Then if I'm concerned I'm going to be copying this formula, I might want to add my $sign. So let's put on F4 and click on enter. Alright. Next, let's now do that again, but this time using a named range. So I now want to get my average salary. Very similar, starting with equals, then AV, and then arrow down to select the average, and then tab. This time, however, I don't need to go and select the data because I've named the range salary. If I start typing AN, there it is, just tab. You can see it's been highlighted and enter, which is much quicker. So let's do the same for our next review date. Now, our next review date is going to be the smallest review date. So I'm going to use my min function. So equals min tab, And next, then tab again, and then click on enter. There. The last one I have to do is my most recent start date. So that's going to be the biggest start date. So I'm going to need my max function for this. So I'm going to type equals MA arrow down tab. But now I just had those moments where I cannot, for the life of me, remember that I called that column. So that's okay. We have a great shortcut key that can help. It's our function tree key. So it's F3 on your keyboard. So give it a go now. Press F3. And there are all the name ranges in my workbook. And I don't even have to use my mouse. I can use my arrow down to get to the one I want. So there it is, the date of hire. And then press enter and enter again. So even with these really simple calculations, we're seeing that by using our name ranges, we're much more efficient. We're not having to use our mouse at all. We're getting much better looking calculations, and this is just the beginning.